two hip kicks.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Finding Your Music Mojo. I'm TC, and this is Kim, my wife and co-host for this week while Dawn is on vacation.
Hello.
We're having some sound issues tonight, so Kim is going to be doing her Godzilla impression where her mouth is going to move, and then you're going to hear the sound. We've been trying to clear it up for the past half hour, and it's not working. So, but before we get started, I have a surprise for everybody. If anybody's out there.
Hey, TC and Kim. Thanks so much for covering for me while Mary and I are on vacation in Costa Rica. We really appreciate it. Check out the view from our Airbnb. Yes, that's a hammock. It's just a beautiful day today. We will be back for the next one. So everybody have a great show, guys. I love the topic this week. Inappropriateness in music and others is always sometimes fun for me. Anyway, we will see you when we get back. Have a great show. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Actually, I think it's on my end because you got hers was the same way you are. So maybe everyone will see you just like you are, and I'm the only one seeing you late.
I don't know.
So anyway, this week's show, inappropriate music for inappropriate people. Now, this is a subject that Kim and I have had long discussions about. Mary of Two Hip Chicks is also aboard Kim's bandwagon. I'm of the, hey, it's just a song. You really should just relax when you're thinking about it. But Kim has a few issues with certain songs. Do you want to explain what we're talking about here?
Well, actually, the phrase Kim has a few issues is, boy, if I had a dime for the times I've heard that, it's usually Kim has a few issues, period. That's the end of the statement. But okay, first of all, I want to bring up before we do anything else, this is the part of the show where we actually have to act like a responsible, rational adult. Ugh.
What? You didn't tell me that.
Well, me, I mean, Puddin', not you, me.
Oh, okay.
What I'm about to talk about, the things I'm going to talk about on this show, which we hope you will come and comment about and interact and all that interwebby stuff that I totally don't understand. What I am going to be talking about are my opinions. And opinions are like buttholes. Everybody has them, and some of them are full of poop. So, anyway, moving forward, we're over here now. So if you hear what I'm saying and you think, wow, she has a point, great. If you hear what I'm saying and you think this woman belongs in an institution, that's okay too, because I've heard that since I was about 6. So,
oh, stop.
When we talk about inappropriate songs, I am not talking about, think of the children, wasps F like a beast or stuff like that. I'm talking about songs where as you're hearing the song, and it may not even connect with you when you first hear it. You're just hearing the song and you're herp-derping about your life and doing all the other things that you do. You're doing the gardening, you're washing your car, you're clipping your dog's toenails or whatever. And then all of a sudden it hits you. Wait a minute. There's something about this song being sung by these people together that just don't hit right for whatever reason. Now, the reasons that I bring this up is because usually these songs that we're going to talk about, probably more, I'm going to talk more than him because he's probably just going to roll his eyes and be like, she's so amusing.
It's so amusing.
See, just like that. That these
I
are
can't do a
songs
Vincent
that
Price, unfortunately.
you do all right. That these are songs that have romantic overtones or however, and they're being sung by people who have things that they share, like DNA. We're talking about songs. We're talking about songs that are sung by brothers and sisters, or to heighten the ick factor a little more, fathers and daughters.
You
And
couldn't
I'm not
find any
talking.
mothers and sons, right?
No, I couldn't. I mean, and I'm not talking about songs like Happy Birthday. I'm talking about songs where you're just kind of, like I said, you could totally have it go right over your head, but later on you will think about it and go, wait a minute. Ew. I mean, I know I did that. I didn't intend to do this. This is just something that's been rattling around in my rabbit's nest of a brain since I was quite young. I won't say small because I've never been small my entire life. But when I was quite young, people in my life who apparently wanted to torture me, the adults in my life would give me records for Donny and Marie.
Okay, stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say hi to Dawn. I think it's Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
Mary usually has two hip chicks Mary on it.
Hello.
Who is watching from Costa Rica.
Have you tried
thank
the
you for
hammock?
the little video color. Have you tried the hammock, Dawn? It looks comfortable. Okay, so
Yeah, it looks
Donny and
comfortable.
Marie. Let's start with
my kidneys were hurting just looking at that hammock. Now, for those of you who are going, who? And I can't believe there's anybody out there in the record community that does that.
Honey, we're not that old, okay? People know who Donny and Marie Osmond are.
Okay.
Honestly.
Well, they're I mean, unless you live in Branson, I don't think that, and okay, that was not said nicely. I'm sorry. I'm sure Branson is a lovely place. I'm sure Branson is a lovely place if you like vanilla everything. But anyway.
Okay. All right. Enough of that.
Okay. When I was a young child, Donny and Marie was something that we did at our house every week, watching their program, whether I wanted to or not.
Oh yeah, a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. That's a whole thing.
A whole lot of I want to throw myself out a window. But I remember, and I got the records from somebody because God knows I didn't ask for them. But and to Mr. and to Mr. Osmond and Miss Osmond, I don't know what her marital status is. Please don't take anything I'm saying with true malice. It's just meant in the fact that I am a goofball. You're both very talented singers and seem like super swell people. Anyway, I remember being a kid and listening to these albums and listening to songs like, you know the one I mean, Morningside.
The one that you keep bringing up is Morningside of the Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the whole thing of it's, there was a girl, there was a boy, but they were apart because of geographical blah, blah, blah. And the end of the song is, and you and I are just like they. And I remember kind of sitting there, just kind of being like, okay, this is all right. I get, wait a minute. I just saw these people. I just saw these people on TV and their brother and sister, and they're singing. Oh, I remember being a little kid and having this, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on kind of thing happening. And
we'll get to them, Dawn. We will get to them.
We're going to get there, Dawn. Trust me.
Hey, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Oh, I'm sure Branson is a lovely place. I'm also sure that I would hit that town like Godzilla hit downtown Tokyo, but I'm not sure that's slagging on Branson or slagging on me, so I don't know. But I remember being a little kid and realizing this, and I mean, I was like very young. And I also remember thinking to myself, do not talk about this. Do not go to mom and dad and ask questions about this because you will get in trouble. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to shut up and not think about it anymore. Except the fact that it wound up just sitting in the back of my head and just being there. And every time, like, I would hear a Donny and Marie song, even later on in life, like when what was that? Soldier of Love? Was that his song that was like a big surprise with the radio station?
Soldier of Love became a big hit in 1989. Yeah,
and nobody knew who did it. Then it was like Donny Osmond, and everybody flipped out. And I remember being like, oh, yeah, Donny Osmond. Oh, yeah, the Osmond. Oh, yeah, they used to sing love songs, and they were brother and sister. And oh, my gosh, shut up, brain. You know, it's sometimes I am absolutely sure that my brain hates my guts. But
now, let's make it clear. We are not talking about songs from between husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend in most part, or parts for the where they're playing those roles in like a musical or something.
No.
She is talking specifically about blood relatives singing love ballads to each other.
Yeah.
And I know it's a little bit weird.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I know some people can be like, oh my goodness, you're looking at this in such a sleazy way, you wicked-minded person. You're just catching on to that now? How many times have
I'm celebrating 5 years in the vinyl community next month, so it's like if you haven't figured it out by now, there's something going on.
If y'all haven't figured out that I'm 1 sick ticket by now, I don't know what you've been watching, but the purple hair didn't give it away. The fact that my co-host on my show is a rubber duck didn't clue you in. Anyway, Terrence Day, by the way. Another group that I never saw any of their stuff until I found out about something that he already knew about. Apparently before MTV came along, there was this, video doodad thing called Scopatone. Is that right?
Yes.
I keep wanting to say Scorpatone, and I'm like, no, that's the guy from Mortal Kombat. No. Get over here! No, I know it's not. I'm just now all the video.
Scopatone was for those of you who don't know, Scopatone was a brand name. There were two. There was another one too, and there was also a European brand. I don't remember the names of those two, but the Scopatone was the most widely used in America. It was a video jukebox, and they started showing up in the early 60s. I used to watch them. One of the restaurants that my mom and I frequented when I was a very wee small tot of about 4 had one, and I would always play Tijuana Taxi. So,
is that the wrong song?
Nope, that's the right one.
Woo! No, Captain and Tennille are fine because they were married. So it makes total sense that married people would sing love songs to each other. Oh yeah. We've seen people's videos of going to Branson for vacations and stuff like that. And I'm always kind of like, yeah, neat. You know what this place needs?
I think it would be fun, but I wish they had more pop music and not all country. But other than that,
so I'm assuming driving around in a convertible with the top down and blasting Guar at full volume probably wouldn't go over real well, would it?
Branson is also not someplace I would want to be anytime from March through about July, because it's in southwestern Missouri, right in the smack dab in Tornado Alley. I don't want to be there. So,
does that mean we might see a lady on a bicycle flying away in a tornado? That was for a friend who's no longer in this dimension. Miss you, Jen. But so we go back to the Scopatone thing. That also sounds like a mouthwash. Anyway, so you had these videos from Scopatone that wound up on a channel that we were completely addicted to for a while called Something Weird. And they were playing these videos. And for the most part, they were an experience.
There's quite a few weird ones out there. And I mean, there were quite normal ones too, with just performances and stuff. But yeah. Some of them
But
were very weird.
there were some that were an endurance test. And one of the videos that was shown was this video for Land of a Thousand Dances. And it was a video done by a man and a woman. I have to take my notes here so I can look at the name. Nino Tempo and April Stevens. And I was, what did I say?
I thought you said tempo. It's tempo, Tempo.
Yeah, tempo. I wrote tempo first because I'm stupid.
No, that's an easy one because you wouldn't think of tempo as a last name. So
I'm watching this video and they're right next to each other and they're singing the song and it's kind of slow. I mean, for
their version is, yeah.
Every artist has their own interpretation. I mean, you do you. But I was kind of like, yeah, can we pick this up a little? I mean, Land of a Thousand Dances, does every dance have to be a waltz? I mean, and there's all these girls in the background and they're dancing next to each other and doing alleged hip dancing. So we're watching this and I'm like, of course, I don't know these people from Adam. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting, I guess.
And I told you, what did I tell you? I said Nino Tempo and April Stevens had the original hit with Deep Purple, which was another song that Donny and Marie covered.
Yeah. Which also is, I don't know if it's I don't know what the hell that song is about, to be honest with you. I mean,
Deep Purple is a love song, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Because yes, he decided to educate me and tell me, oh, they had the original hit with Deep Purple. Oh, really? And then me goes, oh, really? That's so interesting. And then he goes, yeah, and they're brother and sister. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, oh my gosh, I did not need to know that. Why did you do that?
With them, it's a little weirder because April is the older sibling. She's several years older than Nino, and you can't really tell because she lied about her age. She took 5 years off her age when they signed their contract. So
it's a woman's prerogative. You never ask a woman her age or her weight, ever.
Yep.
Or worse, say, hey, what do you do? And then you find out she's not pregnant, and you have to wait for the earth to swallow you up. So,
I've done that. Sorry. Once. Never again.
Matt Puddin. How I love him. See, that's why he needs me around, because he needs someone who screws up even worse so that he looks great by comparison. So
that's not true. Stop that.
So it's like, I'm just like, why? Okay, at least with these people, I'm not saying it makes it any less bleh, but at least they had different names. You didn't.
Well, those were stage names. They were stage names.
Right. But at least they went by different names. You didn't know that they were brother and sister at first, unless somebody decides to tell you and then plunge your brain into complete darkness. It wasn't even out yet, but it already had Lannister vibes all over it. Again, sorry to any fans of those artists. I'm just being a twit. But even
the music is fine. You just have to get past that, and
you just
most people let it glow right over their head. Like I said, it's just music. Yeah. You really should just relax. But some people can't help but think about this stuff, and it is something to think about.
The problem is, once you know that information, and you may just be like, "Oh, well, that's kind of weird," and then you think you're never going to think of it again. You will think of it again
every time you hear something by them.
Either by them or at 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep and all of a sudden there's that little voice in your head that starts that tells you stuff that you didn't want to think about at 3 o'clock in the morning, that kind of a deal. I mean, that does happen to other people, right? That's not just me, right? Please.
No, that's not just you. We've talked about that.
Anyway, but stuff like that, as far as, okay, this kid, you can interpret things certain ways if you want to. People can say, okay, well, you're looking too deeply into this, blah, 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 whatever. You can interpret things different ways. I mean, somebody interpreted Twilight fanfic and turned it into 50 Shades of Grey and made a truckload of money.
Yeah, Yike.
But going to 50 Shades of Her, the one thing that's worse, in my opinion, than sister and brother singing gooey love songs to each other is father and daughter singing gooey love songs to each other. And I don't mean things like, you obviously have songs that are supposed to be sung, if not together, then you have a father singing to their daughter or their daughter singing to their dad. I mean, it happens all the time. There's tons of songs out there that are beautiful representations of the love that a dad has for his little girl or a little girl has for their dad. Tons and tons
Which
and
is
tons.
all that song can be interpreted as being. It's just some people don't interpret it that way.
Yeah.
And the song we're talking about is Something Stupid by Nancy and Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And this is no slag. I am not trying to insult the memory of Frank Sinatra or Nancy Sinatra. I am not insulting either of those people. They both are terrific artists and super neat. But I remember hearing this song and being like, wait, isn't? Oh no. I just kind of remember being like, that's a dad singing this to his grown-up daughter, and
right, the grown-up daughter makes it more palatable because they could have the conversation they're having.
Yeah, the whole thing about being in a quiet cafe and blah blah blah, and then I go and blow it all and saying something stupid like "I love you" to my father in a way that doesn't sound like, or daughter in a way that doesn't usually sound like you'd say that to a parent. I'm sorry. I mean, if I'm reading this wrong, if I'm reading the room wrong, I'm reading the room wrong. But I don't think I'm reading the room wrong in this case. And yes, it is a question of interpretation. One person can interpret it one way and one person can interpret it a completely different way. That's why we're all wonderful people with all little different brain boxes up here that see things in a different way. And that's great. That's just the way I see it, and it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, it makes it, I mean, when you've heard it by there's been other duet versions of that song. It was a hit again in 2018, 2019 in Australia for Jessica Mauboy and Isaiah Firebrace. And they are both Eurovision vets who paired up to do that. I believe it was for a movie. And they did a great version of it, but it wasn't quite the same. Oh, here we go. And Dawn just brought up something else we're going to talk about. But but yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that.
It's just, and that thankfully is not a song I heard when I was younger, because that is one time I probably would not have been able to shut up. And it's not like my parents were hiding anything from me. If I asked a question, I got an answer usually. And usually the answer was not because I said so. They were both honest with me about, whatever I asked.
Well, usually, but then in something like this, your mother would have looked at you and said, "Oh, Kim, don't be so melodramatic.
Why are you reading so much into this? Why don't you go outside? Why don't you ever go outside? What do you do in your room all day?" I didn't get that a lot.
I want to know the answer to that,
I didn't get that one a lot because I'd tell her. So the less you know, the less they can make you testify about. That's always been a motto of mine. I hope it'll be a motto of yours. And then, of course, you have people that deliberately try to screw with you, and not in a good way. Mm-hmm. What I'm talking about is when the band The White Stripes first debuted, the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army, one song that apparently everybody who's learning how to play guitar now plays that instead of Deep Purple.
Yeah,
Smoke on
because
the
it
water.
replaced Smoke on the Water as the riff of choice.
As the riff of choice. In most music stores, they should probably put up a sign in the guitar section. If you play Smoke on the Water or Seven Nation Army, you're getting booted out. But I seem to recall when they first hit that they were kind of playing this game of, well, are they siblings? Are they married? What's the deal? Why
The
can't
truth was
anybody
they
get
were
it?
already divorced at the time they had their first hit.
Yeah, but
So
it's like, well, why don't you just say that? Nope, we're
I
gonna
don't
try
know.
and we're just gonna play some games and be whimsical about it. No, you're not. You're annoying.
Thinking along the lines that you've been thinking on,
Mhm.
with Something Stupid, I think the other duet that we were talking about is even worse because the song itself, I mean, at least Something Stupid can be misconstrued and not be, um, it can be totally innocent in places.
Right.
But there is no innocence in Should Have Never Let You Go by Neil and Dara Sedaka.
No,
These
there
are two
isn't.
people talking about leaving each other.
I'm sorry, but when the first line is when you walked into the room, your beauty took my breath away or something like that.
When you walk into a room, my beauty takes my breath away. Yep.
Yeah.
When I look into your eyes, I find it hard to find the words to say, which is what she replies to him.
Yep. Nope. No. No, 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 no. Stop in the name of sanity. I mean, that's just no. I mean,
I love Neil. He is he is a true legend in the business, one of the best songwriters who ever walked the planet. And I love him as a performer. And I have great respect for Dara, who's become a solid voiceover actress and a voiceover musician in the last 25 years. But this song, as much as I love it, when you really think about it, there is so much wrong with this song. And I agree with you on that
yeah.
100% with this song.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like just the title of it. You're like, I should have never let you go. What the hell is going on here? I mean, the whole point of having children, from what I've seen, is that eventually you let them go. They fly the nest, fly the coop,
What made it
all
worse,
that stuff.
there's an even worse step to this.
Mhm.
Dara was 16 when this song came out. So
We're going to have that licked in a minute, considering what's coming
okay.
up next.
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, no, you wanted to bring this up, and I agree with Dawn, and I think we both agree with this, but Dawn brought this up. Unforgettable by Nat and Natalie King Cole. This was actually, as I said, this was actually something Natalie wanted to do. And she wanted to be able to sing with her father. And it is an incredible version of the song. And I mean, Nat King Cole, again, one of the greatest voices of all time. But I agree, it's not so because he would have never consented to that had he been alive at the time it was done. He would have said, "Are you kidding? We're not doing that."
I don't think he would have. I can understand wanting to sing with your father if you had a good relationship with your father.
He would have found
Whatever
something more
that looks
appropriate
like.
for them to sing together.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is all just part of my hang up because I've got Titanic-sized boat full of daddy issues that could sink the Titanic. But do I think that that's a pretty song on its own? Unforgettable, of course. I mean, Nat King Cole's voice was wonderful, and Natalie has a lovely voice too. And bringing them together is really nice. I mean, when they started doing this whole, we're going to have deceased artists sing with people who are alive so people can hear their music again. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, kinda. Maybe.
Hey, I'll be honest. I would love to hear an album tracks from the Carpenters where they've taken Karen and had people duet with her. I think that would be phenomenal.
Not for nothing, they did a Karen Carpenter duet with Lady Gaga, I think I would just faint from the
I don't think
awesomeness.
that would be possible. Lady Gaga. Well, I don't know. Lady Gaga did a heck of a cover of Your Song by Elton John for his
Yeah,
tribute album. So
yeah.
I don't know.
And she's an amazing singer. So,
Yeah, she
I
is.
mean, I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, I realize this is going to sound a little maudlin, I suppose, but there's a question of, I kind of feel like they're dead. They can't give permission to do this or not do this. I know their estate can. I know that their lawyer can, or whomever's in charge of stuff. That's all that legal jazz that I don't get. Because I don't watch documentaries like that. I watch documentaries about duckies and bunnies and things. So I'm sorry. But
And true crime.
And what?
True crime.
And true crime. Well, yeah, I do watch those. I admit that.
Most women do.
Hmm.
Most women I know do. I don't know about everybody, but most women I know do.
Well, it's interesting to me. I've been reading mysteries since I was like that high.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I'm
But
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, it's okay. No, it's just the idea. I mean, I don't know. I've always kind of been like, okay, so their estate said it was okay to blah, 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 whatever. And I know I should be like, okay, well, they would want their family to still be able to get money to live and stuff like that, and so on and so forth and stuff like that. But I also kind of just feel like I said, going back to it, they're dead. And I know that that's maudlin to say it like that. And there is something really uncomfortable about Unforgettable as a duet between a father and daughter. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. I can't tell you why I feel that way, other than the whole, that's why, darling, it's incredible. I'm sorry. If my father called me darling, I think I would have been checking under the bed for pods from outer space.
Well, yeah, because your father would have never done that.
No. But I don't know. I just feel strange about it. I don't dislike it, but it does make me do that dog hearing a strange noise head tilt, that. Yep. And if other people feel that way too, at least I'm not alone. So that's something. But we're talking about father and daughter songs, and now we get to go to to Europe. And oh boy.
Yeah. This is one of the songs that I completely agree with Kim on. I think the entire planet agrees with Kim on.
Okay. If you have never heard of this song, and this is the first time you've ever heard somebody talking about this song, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it had to be me that introduced this song into your brain box. I'm sorry. And if you go look this up on Wikipedia tonight,
I'll have a link to I'll have a playlist up of this stuff by tomorrow.
If you go and look it up, on your head be it. It is a song from France. It is a song. Can I say this?
Yeah.
Can I actually say this? Okay. It is a song. You can tell how nervous I am because my voice goes higher. Called Lemon Incest. No, you did not hear that wrong.
Right.
Lemon Incest.
Okay, let's not say it again. That's twice
as
good.
I'm not going to say it again. If I don't have to, I won't. Just let that sink in for a second. By Serge and Charlotte Gainsbourg. Probably completely said that wrong. I don't care. Right. Oh, anyway. And this song, I'm not going to say the title again. You figure it out. Charlotte is Serge's daughter. Charlotte, at the time this song was recorded, was... How old did you say Dara was?
Dara was 16.
Yeah. Minus that a couple of times. I believe she was 13.
13.
I have to go throw up now. I'm back. I'm
And you'll throw
sorry.
your lighting all off too.
Sorry.
It's recovering.
This is what I get for trying to be funny about a subject that is exceedingly not funny.
No, and that was written deliberately to be that way. Now it is in French. There is an English language version also, though. And it
There's
was
also a music video.
yeah.
Don't look for it.
And
please.
if I'm not mistaken, it was designed as an entry possibility for Eurovision. I might be wrong. I'd have to look it up, but it's
I don't know. I didn't go that far. I was like, okay, I've seen all I need to see. I have to go bleach my eyeballs now. I can't read anymore. Oh gosh, please make it stop. I mean, I know that, the late Paul Harvey always used to say, we are not of one world, and no, this is just made of no. And the fact that these people are like, oh, well, that's not what this song is about. I'm sorry. Do I look like I have stupid tattooed across my forehead? I mean, if that's not what it's about, why did you call it that? I mean, am I missing something here? Am I just completely going out of my mind? I don't get it. I'm just like, bleh. This
pause
is
for
gross.
a second. Dawn has this comment. I'm not sure that it was, but it's France. France is the country that has entered a song about mustaches. They are also have entered all these other weird songs, and of course, I never would have dreamed that there would be Eurovision entries about cell phones or a song called "Hatred Will Prevail." Both of those actually made Eurovision. So, yeah.
Yeah, not everything from Eurovision is going to be ABBA.
No, it's not.
Or
even Måneskin, who was probably the hardest act to hit in 25 years on Eurovision.
Lordy would like a word.
Well, yeah, but Lordy was more theatrical rock, where Måneskin is strictly alt hard metal rock. Yeah. And it did give them an actual boost. They are big here too now. So
yeah, they are, which is great. It's awesome. Very cool. But this is, well, you're not sure it's it was the Eurovision entry, are you? I mean, I'm not sure.
Look.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go look.
Because I'm sorry. It's like, no. There's just there are not enough ways to say no, ick, blah. I have to go take a shower. I have to take a scalding hot shower and drink an entire bottle of vodka and then smash the bottle over my head because I don't ever want this stuff in my brain again, ever. I mean, it's like gross.
Charlotte was 12 or 13 at the time they recorded this song. It hit number 2 in France and is supposed to be a play on lemon zest. And no, it was not a Eurovision entry.
Okay, well, that's good. Because then you probably would have seen France get booted out of Eurovision for a couple of years. I'm sorry. I'm surprised nobody. It got to number 2. You said
on the French charts and number 10 in the European charts.
You know why? Probably because people were like, "You are not going to believe this song," and people were like, calling the radio station and being like, "Yeah, hi, my friend Jacques thinks this song is fake. Can you please play it for him while we smoke cigarettes, and talk about how meaningless life is?" Alouette.
To my viewers in France, I am sorry. I apologize for my crazy wife.
I'm sorry. I've never been to France, and I'm sure it's a beautiful country, and now I'm absolutely sure you'll never let me in. But, look, we have a horrible reputation all over the world now, so, I'm sure that they can I'm sure you guys in France can take a gentle ribbing from a loudmouth, crass American. You do it all the time anyway, because we show up in your country and wreck stuff. But I'm sorry, that song is completely like, you realize in other countries, if you tried to do a song like that, you'd have the cops trying to break down your door. The cops would be trying to break into the recording session and be like, everybody up against the wall. What the hell's going on here? You know, it's like, wow. I mean, and then there's the whole question of artistic expression. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when you do a song, when you write a song, when you perform a song, and whatever you do with a song, it's something that you are, as an artist, you're supposed to believe in. I'm not saying believe in the words of the song, but you're supposed to, you as an artist are supposed to put all of your passion into
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
If what you're doing is this, people are going to be nervous, very nervous. And then they're going to be nauseated. Because I swear, we actually watched the video for this, and I was just
Yeah,
like,
we have.
I have to go.
Not intentionally, by the way. It popped up on one of our, we were just watching random videos and it popped up one night. That's how we found out about it.
Yeah. It was like watching, it's like when you watch one of the like Faces of Death things and you know you shouldn't be watching it, but you can't look away. And it was
I don't
just
know if
like,
it's
when it
that
was,
bad.
well, no, I mean, but it was like when it was done, I was like, well, I have to go scrub everything,
Everything.
possibly till I'm bleeding. But, yeah.
Okay, now let's move on to the other one that we've talked about, which isn't directly music, although it's sort of related to music, because this
Did
one
you all
was
get
one we
that?
just
Did you
found
get
out
that?
we just found this out in the last year. We were not paying attention, and we've seen this, I don't know, 5 or 6 times at least, and you've probably
Yep.
seen it more than that because you watch Missy all the time, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
For those of you who don't know, TC and I introduced him to it, are both fans of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and all of the other.
She is a fan. I am a casual fan.
Yeah. And the other shows that have kind of sprung up from that, like The Film Crew and Cinematic Titanic and Riff Tracks, and hi to all you guys that work really hard watching crap so we can laugh at it.
And the Mads.
Mm-hmm. One of the movies that they had on Mystery Science Theater 3000 was a film from 1964 called Horror of Party Beach. You have to be very careful how you say that first word because people will get a completely different idea of what the movie is and then be disappointed. Horror of Party Beach was billed as the first monster movie musical, which should have been a tip-off. This was going to hurt. Spoiler alert.
This is actually one of my favorites. I enjoy this a lot. It's just
this movie
so
hurts.
goofy. It's so
this movie
goofy.
Hurts a lot. Although it is one kind of film that I find very surprising in the fact that while it is a musical in the fact that it has music in it, the music is actually being put in the film in a way that actually makes sense. Considering the rest of
parties and stuff, not actual like singing and dancing from the cast.
Yeah, considering the rest of the movie doesn't make sense, I'm glad they got this one part right. But there's a band. There's a lot of scenes at a beach, and there's a band there called the Delaires. The Delaires,
I think, yeah.
And they do a bunch of songs, and their songs are even featured on the radio that is playing in certain scenes and stuff like that. So there's that. So it's not like other musicals where you're just, someone's going outside to get the mail and all of a sudden I'm getting the mail, la, 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 and all this weird crap that doesn't make any sense.
Hi, Patrick. Welcome to the show.
Patrick. Hi. But the thing is, we didn't know this at first about this film. And I happened to find this out by looking it up. I was looking up something about the film on the IMDb. And I read it in the trivia section about the film, and I was like, what? It turns out that the person in the film who plays the hero, if you can consider a slice of white bread to be the hero.
Hero.
Yeah. His character's name is Hank Green. No, not that Hank Green. A gentleman that in the film goes by the name, the actor's name is listed as John Scott. His real name is John Lyon, Lyon. So So the young woman that plays the female lead, i.e., the girl that gets to scream a whole lot at the end of the movie because it is a monster movie.
And the one that the male lead gets as his girlfriend at the end of the movie.
Right. Who plays a character named Elaine Gavin, is played by a young lady named Alice Lyon, Lyon. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to this show so far, I think you all can see where this is going. John and Alice are brother and sister.
Ah!
They kiss in this movie. I mean,
several times.
I mean, it is still the 60s, so we're not seeing anything crazy. But at the end of the film,
no, she's done quite a few of them.
Oh no, Patrick! I love musicals. I've been in musicals, several musicals. But even I, speaking as a person who have been in musicals, will be the first one to admit that, I'm at the post office getting stamps. La da 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 da. That's, it's just weird how some things, you'll have somebody at a, like a proctology exam or something like that. You're going, please don't burst into song. Please don't burst into song. Stuff like that. But I love everything. I love musicals. I think they're fun. I think they should be fun. But I remember sitting there.
All right. If you think they should be fun, explain the apple.
The apple is fun to mock mercilessly. Look at it this way, Puddin'. If there weren't movies like The Apple out there, what would the guys at Riff Trax do?
Yes.
They'd be stuck watching Fox News if they want to watch crappy stuff to make fun of.
Patrick, you do not need to make the proctologist song. Thank you. Stick with your Transformers stuff.
Patrick, do it. Do it. You know that little demon on your shoulder? Hi.
I think, Mary, wasn't their dad the executive producer of this film?
I'm not entirely sure why. I don't.
There was another family connection behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And that actually I think that was either the original male lead or the original female lead dropped out right before they did it, and that's how it ended up happening.
Yeah, it was an emergency stunt casting kind of thing. Also, for some reason, her voice was dubbed through the entire movie, which I was like, what did she really sound like? I got to the end of the movie and I realized, I was like, I never heard her actual voice. What the heck? How bad did she sound? She couldn't have sounded that bad. But yeah, so to have a movie at the end where her character's been through this whole chased by the monster, blah, blah, blah thing, and then the monster gets killed, blah, blah, blah. And she's in bed recovering, and he comes in to see her, and there's all this kind of, not flirty talk, but definitely like, well, I'm going to be here to take care of you from now on. Oh, my male lead kind of crap. And then the movie ends. And now I'm like, now forever and a day, my brain goes, they're siblings. And I can't shut it off.
Well, you know me, I had the problem with totally fake ones, Back in 2014, or I think it was 2014, Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, they're not really related.
No.
But they're playing brother and sister in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Right.
And then they turn around and cast them as husband and wife in Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell, people? This is not working. These were out 4 months apart. It's like, this is so weird. You just saw them as brother and sister. Now we're seeing them as husband and wife. What are we going to see them next as together? And it's like, ew.
Well, there's one thing you can say about Godzilla, though. At least Aaron made it to the end of the movie.
Well, yes, that's true. Well, he made it almost to the end of the movie on Age of Ultron, but not quite.
Didn't see that one coming, did he?
Oh, shut up. Anyway.
So, this has been fun.
Yes, it has.
if a little psychotic, but in case you had noticed, that usually comes with me too. I'm sure this, I mean, I really did scour trying to find, like, I can't really think of any like mother-son kind of stuff.
You're not helping, Don.
Has that ever happened where they've had conjoined twins of different genders? I don't think that's
Yes.
ever.
Yes.
Shut the front door. It has.
I'm pretty sure it has. Yeah. I have to
Yeah.
look it up, but I'm pretty sure
Oh
it has.
wow, that's screwed up. No, I do remember you being no, and I understand that, especially since both films came out the same year. I mean, there were some big differences though, because both Aaron and Elizabeth had accents in Age of Ultron because Sokovia is Europe adjacent. I don't know, we're standing in for Yugoslavia or whatever. And in Godzilla, they were both American, so they didn't have the accents anymore. And also, by the end of the movie, Aaron's not riddled with bullets, so
Yeah.
there's
Okay.
there's that.
Mary, you have to live with it now. I'm so sorry. Now you're not going to be able to think about anything else tonight before you head to bed.
That's okay. That's okay. They're on vacation. Vacation means margaritas.
Yeah. So,
but not in the
this has been a great show. If you can think of anything else, if anyone has any comments, if you can think of other acts that this reminds you of, please leave a comment on it. We'd love to know what you think of that. It's just absolutely out there, this kind of stuff. And we briefly mentioned Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's, everybody knows about that one.
Yeah.
And so we don't need to go there, but yeah, that's one everybody knows about. You are supposed to have a show tomorrow.
I am supposed to. Whether or not it's going to happen, I don't know. Haven't decided yet. I have to come up with something to talk about. I'm sure I'll come up with something to talk about, whether it'll be coherent, make sense, or won't involve every other word being beep. Your guess is as good as mine. If you want to send me a topic, platinumroselle@yahoo.com, I will totally, look it up.
Patrick, you need help. You need help more than Kim needs help. That's not easy. That's like saying
I'm looking at that
as even worse.
That's,
I swear.
that challenge accepted, buddy.
Oh man, you guys know what I have on this channel. I have stuff all the time. I'm just right now taking a little more time off because I'm trying to get things fixed, and I started having a monitor issue tonight that thankfully went away, and I still haven't fixed the other monitor, but I'll have more stuff up over the week. And we do AM 70s on Sunday and Disco Party on Saturday, except this last week, and the Kirkham Report on Saturday, and all kinds of other stuff going on in between and around it.
Mm-hmm.
So and next time we will be here in 2 weeks, which will be, let me look at the calendar, May 19th. And Dawn will be back from vacation. And we will be having her host, I think. Well, she'll let me know. If not, I'll set it up. And it'll be a lot of fun. And we'll be hearing, I'm sure, but before that happens, she'll be back with Chit Chat before that happens. But we'll probably talk a lot about how her vacation was, and other kinds of music that she listened to while she was in Costa Rica. Hint, 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 hint. In any case, I want to thank you.
I'd also like to say real quick, happy belated May the 4th be with you to the Star Wars fans out there. And also happy Revenge of the 5th for today, because you can't have a good movie without a good bunch of bad guys too. So to all my Sith brethren out there, have a great day. Or have an awful day, depending on.
Like I said when I make my predictions last week, when it comes to the Kentucky Derby this past Saturday and Sovereignty's win, may the horse be with you.
Yep. And I won. I picked the right horse. I granted.
Well, you picked him to place, but you did pick.
Yeah.
You got all three of your horses in the top 7, which you've never done before.
No,
So
I
that
know.
was
It would be
something.
really awesome if we actually spent
got
money
one.
on it, but we didn't. So
We will see everybody in 2 weeks, and Kim should see everybody tomorrow if she thinks of something. If not, it'll be 2 weeks away. But in any case, we will have lots more to go. And we thank you for joining us. For Finding Yours at Mojo, she is Kim from Kim Takes On. I am TC, and Dawn is waving down there in Costa Rica. And we will see you again real soon.
bye.
If I can find the outro. There we go. Bye. That's not what I wanted to do, but we'll do that.